So my name is Younes. I'm the founder and CEO of Aokumo. I'm based in Japan, so I lived in Japan more than half of my life. I started as a software engineer at Sony Ericsson. After that, I moved to finance. I worked at Morgan Stanley for 7 years. Then I was the CTO and group CIO of InnerSource, which is a fintech company. And then I started Aokumo. So that's a quick journey about myself. So a little bit about Aokumo. We operate at the intersection of cloud native, and AI. So we're an AWS partner, an InnerSource partner as well. We're a cloud native and Linux Foundation Silver member. And we help companies build and operate their software through our services and products. And one of our products is AI Ops that we're working on. Today I would like to talk about what's your InnerSource worth? So that's the question I'm hoping we're going to answer today. Not with philosophy or strategy, but really with framework, metrics, and real results. So agenda, first the challenge. Why proving InnerSource ROI is hard, and why the measurement system failed us. The second, talk about strategic framework. We'll look at worldly maps to see how we can decide, how we decide what to build, what to share, and what to buy. Then third, measuring what matters, and we'll look at a live assessment tool that we built that helps us quantify opportunities with data, not just vibes. And fourth, we'll look at case studies of InnerSource, how InnerSource is actually used beyond just engineering teams. And final, we'll talk about AI native and why InnerSource isn't just for tomorrow. AI-driven, isn't. Let me just remove this. Apology. I lost the mouse. That's okay. Apology. So we'll talk about the challenge first. So every leader I speak to believe in InnerSource in practice or in principle. But when the CFO and CIO ask about numbers, there's silence. And I've been actually in both sides, being asked to provide ROI for our InnerSource practices, and as an executive asking for numbers. And I know it's quite hard. So the problem isn't that the results don't exist. It's that our measurement DNA is still industrial. It's built for output, not collaboration. We're great at counting lines of code or uptime, but terrible at quantifying things like reuse, learning, or network effects between teams. Now, so why is proving InnerSource ROI so difficult? First, benefits are multi-dimensional. Collaboration, knowledge sharing, and cross-skilling are powerful, but they are not linear. You can't measure them with a single KPI, and they don't show up in Jira velocity charts. Second, the returns are delayed. The payoff from reuse and shared learning doesn't happen in the next sprint. It compounds over time, just like compound interest. Every shared component, every merged pull request quietly accelerates the next project, granted that the people who are pushing this code know what they're doing. And the third, there is no standard framework. Every organization measures differently. Some track pull requests, others count contributions, but there's no common language, which means results aren't comparable. Now, you might say, or you might be thinking, wait, we have DORA metrics. Deployment frequency, lead time, mean time to recovery, change failure rate, those are great. But they don't measure, but they measure delivery frequency, not collaboration maturity. DORA tells you how fast code moves, but not how knowledge flows. So not all collaboration is equal. Some parts of your system drive competitive advantage. Others are just plumbing. That's why, or that's where wordly maps help. They give us a way to visualize where collaboration should happen and why. So before I talk about the framework, let's first share that I believe, or we believe, that InnerSource isn't just a practice. It is a decision-making framework. So let's look at these questions. What creates competitive advantage for your company? It is your CI/CD pipeline? Probably not. Is it your AI model that understands your specific domain? Absolutely. What should we own versus rent? This is the strategic question most companies get wrong. They either outsource everything and lose their edge, or they build everything and move very slowly. Where do we need speed to innovate? Because that's where InnerSource shines. When multiple teams need the same capability, but you can't wait for a vendor. So how do we answer these questions? So I tried to put some animation on the slide, and it just messed up. So some of the squares won't pop up, sorry, but let me explain. So this is wordly maps. And on the left side, this is what we call the genesis. This is the brand new, your secret sauce. On the right side, that's the things that are mature, standard. Buy but don't build. And the middle is the InnerSource. So this is where InnerSource excels. So this is, I'll give you an example with AI, since there's, we talk a lot about AI. So your custom AI model or innovative architecture, that's where it is. You build it internally, you guard it. This is your competitive advantage. But here's what changes the game. AI model orchestrations, prompt engineers, RAG architecture, AI benchmarking tools. Every team needs these, but they are too custom to buy off the shelf. So this is the InnerSource sweet spot. Don't build in silo. Don't wait for vendors. Collaborate internally. As capabilities mature, productize them, make them consumable. And here is what you don't build on that on the right. It's the generic LLMs, the OpenAI, the Claude, and so on. You just buy the API. Also, cloud infrastructure, Kubernetes, and so on. These are commodities. You just use them. You don't reinvent the wheel. So this is pure strategic thinking. Know what to build, what to share, and what to buy. InnerSource is not about doing everything together. It's about knowing where collaborative brings the most value. We've talked about strategy, what to build, what to share, and what to buy. And now let's talk about proof. How do we measure what matters? Not line of code, not or story point, but collaboration, reuse, and maturity. This is what we built to bridge the gap. A live maturity, so this is a cloud-native assessment maturity tool that takes engineering signals and turns them into narrative executives can understand. So in this example, we have a team. This team scores 47% in the cloud-native maturity scale. You can see below, it shows 9 critical issues identified, a medium risk rating, and 120K in potential cost saving. It even shows an estimated time to the next level, 2 to 3 months. So suddenly, InnerSource is no longer a philosophical observation, it's a measurable business case. The dashboard here also benchmarks you against industry peers. This team, for example, is ahead of 39 of organizations in their space, but still far from leaders. The radar on the right shows exactly where the gaps are. Culture, CI/CD process, architectural decompositions. We have more. We have data, we have security, and so on. And below, we list top improvement opportunities, not just scores, but where to focus first. That's what turns InnerSource from theory into practical roadmap. So now this framework or assessment tool is opinionated based on dozens of real cloud-native and InnerSource projects. It's not theory, it's what actually works or works for us. And we're happy to work with partners and other contributors and the InnerSource Commons community to keep improving it, making it available to everyone. Now let's talk about a real case. So I want to share a story from one of our clients, Toyoshima. It's a 180-year-old Japanese textile company known for incredible craftsmanship. But the industry as a whole is very analog. So here's the challenge. Designers worked in silos. Each created patterns on their own systems. About 60% of those samples were never even used. And then you have sales teams needed physical samples to show clients, which took weeks to produce. So there was no easy way to search or reuse these past designs. Every project started from scratch. Now the results of the InnerSource, and I'll explain in the next slide, you have, they are able now, once they apply the InnerSource principles, shared repositories, open contribution, visible assets. They cut the pattern to client cycle by 70%. Sample testing that used to take 3 weeks now takes a couple of hours. They produce 60% fewer physical samples. And this is what I love about most about the story. It's not about software, it's really about collaboration. InnerSource became the bridge between craftsmanship and digital innovation. So here, this is what the transformation actually looks like. So what you're seeing here is a shared digital design platform, the result of applying InnerSource principles outside of engineering. So designers, clients, and sales teams all work together in real time on the same system. Designers, and they can design, recolor, and iterate instantly. No waiting for physical samples, no passing files back and forth. Every fabric pattern, every color palette, every design variation is stored and also reusable, and can be searched. So InnerSource for design, not just code. A shared platform, cross-functional collaboration, and reusable knowledge. Exactly the same principles that power the great engineering teams, now powering creative ones too. Now next, let's look one step ahead, the AI native future. When often we often talk about AI transformation, organization, but AI alone doesn't create intelligence. It amplifies it. It amplifies what's already there. And that's where InnerSource becomes critical. When you practice InnerSource, you're already doing three powerful things. First, you're measuring collaboration. You're making contribution visible, pull requests, reusable patterns, shared assets. Second, that visibility turns into structured data, patterns that describe how your teams actually work. This data is gold. It's the foundation AI systems need to reason about how your organization builds and learns. And third, the structure enables AI amplifications. So imagine AI agents that can review PRs or command reuse or even auto-generate reports because they understand your collaboration graph. So you're not just building better culture, you're building the operating system for AI native organizations. AI won't replace collaboration, it will scale it. And InnerSource gives us the blueprint to make that happen. So before we wrap up, let me leave you with something practical. What to do Monday morning. First, we start small. Pick one shared capability, a library, an internal tool, a CI template, for example, something small, but used by multiple teams. That's your seed. Second, measure. Track how many people use it, contribute to it, and reuse it. You don't need fancy tools. At first, just visibility. And third, quantify. Calculate your opportunity cost. Ask, if we didn't share this, how much time would we lose rebuilding it? That's your starting ROI. You can scan for So I put a QR code to access the assessment tool, and happy to discuss more about it. So again, it's opinionated, but we're open to improve it together with partners and the community. If you'd like to continue the conversation, that's my contact, and happy to talk after. I think that's about it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.